Say hey everybody, welcome back. Sorare First Pitch. I'm Alex Hooper. It's playoff time, and I got some playoff tips for you, especially here in the wild card. Sorry, my chair is lodged under my desk. Um, this is mostly going to be for folks who didn't follow baseball before. Um, this is a new playoff format for Major League Baseball. Um, it used to be back when I was a kid. You had three division winners made it to the playoffs, and one wild card team. So one extra player would go in. And then it became the three division winners and two wild card teams. The wild card teams would play a one game playoff, and then that'd get you in. Now you got two sets of not wild card teams. You got three wild card teams facing off either against each other or the last place division winner or the third best division winner. So you're going to see Cleveland this weekend. They won their division, but they're going to play the lowest seeded wildcard team. That's the Tampa Bay Rays. You're going to get the Toronto Blue Jays facing off against the Seattle Mariners in a wildcard match. On the other side, the Braves barely beat out the Mets for that third spot, the AL East, right? Yeah, the AL East or NL East crown. So the Braves got the Padres were the last ones in, and then the Phillies get the Cardinals, both wild card teams. So, am I wrong on that? Cardinals win the Central? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for the sake of this video. Um, we're gonna get into it. Let's see who was it. Now I'm just trying to figure it out myself. It was the Braves and the Dodgers. That's the East. So yeah, it had to be the Cardinals. All right. So the Cardinals in the Central. Anyway, we got a giveaway to do. Got the Kevin Plawecki limited from last week. We got a couple of entries, so let me head over there. Let's give this thing away. All you had to do was tell me what you wanted to do in the offseason, what you want to see from Sorare in the MLB offseason to give us a little more utility. We had some good answers. I said anything regarding replays was not going to be considered, so keep that in mind if the winner comes up and that's what is said. Here we go. David Lee. Maybe they could do free agent prediction challenges where you have to own any card from the team that you think a particular free agent will sign with. Winners get rewarded in cards or Ethereum. And then he asked how replays would work when we already know the result of the game. First part, I think that's a cool idea. That's fun mini games. I think are a nice little way to do this. Can't give away ETH. They say that violates U.S. gambling laws. So you won't see that. You will see cards though. Free agent prediction challenge. I think that's cool. That's a total shot in the dark. But the other thing I saw was collection challenges. I think that's a great idea. I know some people like MLS Card Guy have collected an entire Braves roster and continues to build that as more Braves are dropped. So that's another thing where you might be able to get rewarded that way. Just to answer the last part, how would replays work when we already know the result of the games? They would be random. They wouldn't tell us. So, I mean, obviously, I would try and project that, as I'm sure many people would. I would just go through the schedule and try and pull those results and basically take all of the possible weeks or game weeks, 3 to 4 games, you know, Monday through Thursday, Friday to Sunday, but that would give us somewhat of an edge. They could also use historical game weeks to use the players who, like, if you could take a game week from mid-July in 1976 and whoever the Cardinals shortstop was that day, if he hit 4 home runs, then if you played the Cardinals shortstop, you get 4 home runs. I mean, you could do it anyway like that, just how legends work as well. So we can see that. David Lee, you are the winner. Reach out to me either in comments at Sorare First Pitch on Twitter, at Lex Hooper on Twitter, at ahooper14 on Discord. I don't know my numbers, so that's probably not going to work unless you want to join the Patreon Discord. You can find me there. We'll get you, or come to me and just ask for the Kevin Plawecki Limited out of my gallery, Tilt City FC. And if I can confirm it's you, I'll send it to you. And if I send it to someone who's not, I'll just buy another Kevin Plawecki. That's not a big deal. All right. Let's see just some other comments that we got. Big Dirty, I like this one. They could start a collab with Out of the Park Baseball, create some custom teams and sim an off-season tournament. The result could be then used for the Sorare game weeks. Fun. I think that's cool. Relies on a lot of overhead there, but that's fantastic. I actually like that more than the replays because it will be random and it'll be based on simulation. So then, for the sake of the Patreon and myself, I would probably just head over to Out of the Park Baseball and pull down all of the statistics and try and again project those myself. Let's do two more. Larry, would love to hear what they have in mind to try and grow the MLB users, marketing, or different attractive competitions. Yeah, same. I would like to hear the same thing. It sounds like it's coming. It sounds like it's coming. We're also about 2 weeks out from getting to talk to the COO of Sorare. So by then, if he hasn't revealed anything, I would hope that he lets us know on the channel. That would be very, very cool. Maybe we can get some breaking news on Sorare First Pitch. That'd be dope. I do expect, I've said this before, I expect a marketing barrage during the postseason. One more. Larry again. David, I believe this is Siege the Day. Really do think they should give us collective goals. That's where that came from. Clubhouse team page customization. That's fun. Doesn't like replays or simulated fixtures. Thinks it's tacky. I don't care. However you feel about it, I like just give me utility. It might be tacky, but I don't know what that has to do with anything. It's no big deal. Ideal world, we get KBO and NPB Japan. And keep up the good work. Thanks, Siege. You're the man. Yeah, in an ideal world, we would get anything, any off-season baseball, so like the Dominican Winter League or whatever. It would be interesting to see how much people pay for those cards, and it would be awesome if eventually they reach Major League Baseball. You get utility out of those cards. That would require some licensing agreements that I have no idea how that comes to be. So, yeah. All right, cool. So David Lee, you won the Kevin Plawecki Limited. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. We're giving away a rare for the start of the playoffs, a rare card for the start of the playoffs. So, take a drink of water. I'm already thirsty here. Got a loud water bottle today. All right, I got a couple of rewards to open. It's always fun. Let's do that. Tier 3 rare. Tier 3 common. What do we got? Pods. Josh Bell. Hey, that's much better. I would love a Josh Bell rare. Can we double that up? Who we got? Okay. Oh. Oh, it's the Jersey Mint. Yes. Yes. That's so cool. That's sick. It's my 5th Matt Brash rare, but I got the Jersey Mint. Oh, I love that. Oh, that makes me so happy. That's my favorite reward yet. Oh, hell yeah. I'm holding it. I can sell one of my other ones, but I'm waiting until he actually becomes a. Oh, did you guys know? That's hilarious. Again, that's so funny. Join the club, Maddie. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, cool. Cool. That's the best reward yet. I love it. Okay, so what I wanted to do today was, I didn't even get into it because I started rambling about the postseason at the beginning of the show, but postseason tips, things you need to know going into this game week. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty and a lot of weird stuff. I mean, baseball's already weird. You're going to see some weirder stuff. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, they're 3-game series. They're only going to go 2 if one team wins both of the first games. They're not going to play a third if it's not like, a replay in soccer or anything like that. It's not a 2-match fixture. We're going to play 2, and if we need the third, we'll play it. And then the next round will be 5, and then the last 2 rounds will be 7 games. Up to, but you need 1 or 2, 3, and 5 wins, 4 wins, 2, 3, and 4 wins in each of those. So again, wild card round this weekend, 2 wins, best of 3. Division series, this will be midweek, and that entire week. 5-game series, you need 3 wins. The championship series in each league, the American and National League Championship Series, 7-game series, you need 4 wins. World Series, 7-game series, you need 4 wins. So starting pitchers could very easily not pitch in this game week. So you have to rely on news, and that's mostly what this episode is going to be about, is the news. You got to look for confirmed starting pitchers. I will list off, as of recording, who is confirmed as starting pitchers. So take notes, or head over to RotoWire. There are other places to find this. I believe Fangraphs has probable. So you can find it, but make sure you find it tomorrow before noon, before lock, noon Eastern time. All right, confirmed starters. Game 1 for Cleveland, Shane Bieber. Game 3 will be Cal Quantrill if it goes that far. Currently, I mean, you would expect Tristan McKenzie to start game 2 on Saturday, but that is not confirmed. So far we know Shane Bieber and then Cal Quantrill if it goes that far. So Cal Quantrill, in case of emergency, you can break that glass. But if they're pitching in game 3 and you have other options, I wouldn't do it. For the Mets, Max Scherzer will pitch game 1 on Friday. You would assume Jacob deGrom would pitch Saturday, but they will probably wait to see if they're facing elimination. If Scherzer and the Mets go out and win game 1 on Friday, there's a good chance you see Chris Bassett throw on Saturday. I wouldn't risk Jacob deGrom unless he is confirmed to start game 2 before the game week. The Phillies made it easy on us. Zach Wheeler in game 1, Aaron Nola in game 2, and Ranger Suarez in game 3. Perfect. San Diego and Seattle have each named their game 1 starter at this point. Yu Darvish for San Diego, Luis Castillo for Seattle. St. Louis and Tampa have named their game 1 and 2 starters for St. Louis. Jose Quintana will start game 1. Miles Mikolas will start game 2. Game 3, you'd expect Jordan Montgomery. Could be Adam Wainwright. Could be both. They could both go 3 innings. I'll explain that in a second. Tampa Bay. Shane McClanahan will go game 1 at Cleveland. Game 2 is going to be Tyler Glasnow. I think he has only 1 or 2 mints in rare on the market that have actually sold. That's another thing I want to get into. A guy like Glasnow, you got to watch out. And then Corey Kluber, you would expect game 3, not confirmed. The only other confirmed starter, Alek Manoah on Friday. And then on Saturday, it's looking like Kevin Gausman. I actually just got some news here. This is why you want to check it. He left his last start with a cut on his finger. Gausman will throw a bullpen session Thursday. So that's today. Laceration on his middle finger. Bullpen session will help determine whether he'll be available to start during the AL wildcard series versus the Mariners. Blue Jays have been encouraged by his recovery so far. He's the leading candidate to start Saturday in game 2, assuming he checks out fine after throwing. So it was a precaution, but we don't know about Gausman, and he's my best starting pitcher this weekend. So I will have to wait until around noon. And if I have other options, I will probably go away from him unless he is confirmed. So that's the main thing. The people that I named as confirmed starters, feel free to play them. Otherwise, you're taking risks. Fewer teams are going to be more variation. So double starting pitchers, if you have two of those guys, it's probably going to be optimal. It's going to be harder to hit the nuts lineup. You're going to have, like it's going to be almost impossible probably to have the best player at every position. It's just very unlikely. You're likely going to have to hit the players who play 3 games, but we don't know that. So if you have the ability to go double starting pitcher somewhere and it doesn't ruin the rest of your lineups, I would advise it. More stuff with pitching. Some starters will pitch out of the bullpen. So like Noah Syndergaard, I have for the Phillies. He's not going to start any of those 3 games. We already know that. I could see him being a reliever out of the bullpen. He could throw 102. He used to be able to. I don't know if he still can, but like that makes for a good relief pitcher. So he could throw 3 innings if, say, Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler gets in trouble or gets hurt. That will bring me to another point in a second. Another, like with the Rays, you have to know this about the Tampa Bay Rays. They don't like taking reliever or starters deep into games. Generally, they'll see the lineup twice. So 1 through 9, 1 through 9, and then they're out. Tyler Glasnow, who's scheduled to pitch Saturday, he's coming back from injury, so there's less of a chance he goes further. So don't just go out and buy a Tyler Glasnow. I bet he goes 3 innings, 4 innings max before he goes into the bullpen there. So he's very good, but he's on his way back, and I wouldn't expect them to stretch him too far. The other thing with pitchers, high leverage relievers, so your closers, they're less likely to be used in save situations only. So if it's game 1 of a 3-game series and it's the 7th inning and the best 3 hitters from the Rays are coming to bat and your starter's out of the game, there's a good chance that the Guardians go to Emmanuel Clase instead of waiting until the 9th, because technically that might be a higher leverage situation, like because you could realistically shut down the middle of the lineup, get to the bottom of the 7th, score runs, and all of a sudden there's less leverage in each at bat. So relievers are great, closers are great, but they're going to be the first guys used and the most used. That's the key with relievers here. I don't think it's going to change the way that you approach things, but don't be afraid to start 2 relievers if they're great. Like if you have a Clase and an Edwin Diaz, this might be the time to play them both. If there's any time to play 2 relievers, this might be it. So the point that I was going to make with relievers pitching out of the pen like Syndergaard is teams have to submit their full series rosters. Sometimes that causes them to leave off some players that are on their normal rosters. So like if Noah Syndergaard isn't on the roster at all, then obviously I'm not playing him. Tyler McGill for the Mets, I think, will be the same thing. I have one of him, and he was used as a reliever, and I could see him eating up some innings if they needed him. But I bet he's left off the Mets playoff roster. They can switch from series to series, I believe, if that hasn't changed. But this just goes back to the news. Make sure that you're checking playoff rosters. If you have a fringe guy, like you don't have to worry about Bryce Harper not being on the roster. Guys who are more recently injured, you might have to look for that. I'm going to post all the playoff rosters as they come into the Patreon page. If you're a subscriber, you'll get that pretty easily. So that's something to watch out for. Like the overarching message in this video is pay attention to the news. This is going to be the time where you really need to know where to subscribe. Find beat reporters. I know some people, you can probably go on Twitter and just look for fantasy baseball lists. There are a lot of people who just find beat reporters and just throw them into a list, and you can get all that news just pretty easily accessible. If you want to pare that down to, 10 teams, 12 teams left in the playoffs, that might be worth it. Okay, moving on. Splits. Talked about it early on. I think the cheat codes video originally. Use the confirmed pitchers to figure out your split situation. So like the Cardinals are rolling out Jose Quintana in game 1. So you would expect some split situations to arise. If you don't know yet, splits are, some players hit really well against right-handed pitchers. Some hitters prefer left-handed pitchers, but most of all, some hitters play against right-handed pitchers, but not left-handed pitchers, and vice versa. So really quick, I'm going to go to the Phillies lineup page. Let's pull that up so you're not staring at my dumb mug this whole time. We're going to go to the Phillies lineup page. So we're going to try to identify like who doesn't play against lefties, who might sit. So lefty, Harper sat. Bohm doesn't normally. Harper's not going to sit. Castellanos feasts on lefties. Brandon Marsh. So you'll see here, one right here, not hitting against lefties. He was injured for this one, didn't hit against lefties, didn't hit against lefties. So you can pretty much rule Brandon Marsh out. So who's in his stead? Matt Vierling. Matt Vierling gets a boost. See how he's played against every lefty. Lefties are in red here. So Matt Vierling, you can expect to play at least one game. If you have a Matt Vierling, roll the dice. That looks to be their only guy that normally sits against lefty. I mean, Schwarber is probably worse against lefties, but he's still going to play. That'll show up in projections if you're using my projections, if you're using other projections, or if you're just eyeing it. You can expect him to do worse, but that's going to be factored in. Okay, so that's splits. The other thing is knowing your substitution patterns. There's no roster resource for that, but dive in. I mean, those same guys who do get subbed out, Matt Vierling, for example, as soon as Quintana comes out of the game, you'll probably see him get pinch hit, pinch run for Brandon Marsh, who's a lefty against a righty, and then they'll just ride it out with that. So when you see those differences in splits, or you know of somebody who, let's see, Nick Castellanos is one of those guys, starts in right field a lot, but then gets pulled for Vierling or Dalton Guthrie or someone like that. They come in because they're better defensively. You might lose an at bat because of that. So just know that going in. Again, I don't think that should affect your lineups too much. And once they lock in, it's not going to matter. But just know who they're going to face. Look at the matchups for everyone. Know who they're going to face and kind of plan for that. Correlation really quick. You see this with stacks. Make sure you're focusing on vicinity and lineups here. So I do think stacking more than the mini stack would be more advantageous. I'm running out my Blue Jays stack together, but you have to know how close they are in the lineup. The 1-hitter and the 6-hitter are not going to correlate a ton. The 2-hitter and the 6-hitter, not as much, probably not at all. 3 to 6, you start to get in that area. And then once you get within 3 because of 3 outs, and 4 because for someone to get on and then benefit from the 6-hitter, you can only get out twice before the inning's over, if you follow me there. So 2-hitter gets on, he's on first, 3-hitter, 4-hitter. Yeah, so 3 and 6 is kind of where it starts. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 batters apart. 3 if you subtract them. That is where the correlation window is. If 2 of them get on, great, you can still have correlation, but there's less of a chance if you follow me. So again, that same tool I just showed, the lineup tracker, it shows you where players hit normally, and sometimes that changes, and it will change depending on who they're facing, but just know. And sometimes if you have so Kyle Schwarber, I have, Rhys Hoskins, I have, JT Realmuto, I have, Nick Castellanos, I have 1, 2, 4, and 6. I probably am not dying to play Schwarber with Castellanos. I would love to play Schwarber with Realmuto though, because 1, 2, 3, 4. I would love to have Bryce Harper, but we're not all rich. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up stacking them anyway, but now that I look at this and the fact that Castellanos hit 4th because 2 guys sat. All right, so maybe I go out and buy an Alec Bohm before things start. Who knows? But yeah, just consider that, the vicinity to each other in lineups. Again, I think stacking is more likely to pay off, especially if you get teams who go to 3 games, and maybe the second game's a shootout, like 10-8. You can score high, and then you get a third one with extra benefits, something like that. Mini stacks. So I talked about the 3 games. The last thing before we go to our giveaway. Again, assume 2 games. You can bet on 3 games. Assume 2 games. The Patreon projections I changed to show just 2 games instead of 3 because I don't want you to look at the projections and see someone projected way higher for game 3 because the projected pitcher is not very good and all of a sudden they get a bump and it throws things off. So you can bet on 3 games if you want. If you look at the odds, we're going to look at the odds. This is just one odds maker, but so Cardinals, slight favorites, Phillies, almost even money. Rays, closer to even money, Guards, closer to even money than the Cardinals. And then you see the Mets, and Pods, and Blue Jays, and Mariners. So this is actually funny because this is a 3-6 seeding. So you'd expect the Guardians to, they think they have the upper hand, but it's actually the closest. This is the closest series on the docket. So if you're looking at this, you'd think the closer series is more likely to go 3 games than, you just look at these odds and you're like, oh yeah, the Mets are going to blow them away. Oh yeah, the Blue Jays are going to blow them away. It's not like there's a huge discrepancy in these odds. And I mean, there's every chance that the Padres just go up and, as the, biggest underdog in the series or the slate of series. There's a chance they go in and they win 2 games straight. It's baseball. It's random. It could happen. So I wouldn't use these to I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, man, the Rays are, this game's going 3 games. So I'm going to force all my Rays into the lineup. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you need a tiebreaker, yeah, Phillies, Cards, Rays, Guards, good chance. But I mean, if I'm looking at this, I'm saying I'm playing Mets and I'm playing Blue Jays. Also consider the pitching. I believe these are the 2 worst pitching staffs. Maybe not the Mariners. They got a couple good horses at the front. The Blue Jays, especially if Gausman can't go, that's a yikes. Padres have been struggling. So, I mean, yeah, I think Mets stacks are generally going to blow this game week away. There's my tip. If you have a Mets stack, it's looking pretty good for you. But so that's the last thing. Just consider that. There's no guarantee you score points in that 3rd game anyway. So again, I wouldn't bank on it. I would just play your best players. Go for home runs. If you have a decision between a guy with a 200 average with 25 homers or a guy with a 300 average with 2 home runs, I would bet on the guy who hits a home run. There's less of a chance that Stephen Kwan, there he is, right back here. There's Stephen. There's a lower chance that he puts up a 40 from going 9 for 9 than a guy who puts up a 40 by going 2 for 9 with 2 home runs. That's my only other tip there. So, but I'm gonna be using my projections per usual. And that's it. All right, let's find our giveaway. I haven't quite decided what I want you to do to win this. That's on me. There he is. Here we go. All right. So first of all, before we get into this, got to shout out Bob, Orange Fly, the GOAT. He has been so generous to this channel, to me, to the whole community. So he actually gave us this giveaway. He gave us this card to give away on the show. We are giving away a rare. And it's not a bad one. He might be a T5 currently, but Christian Pache, very highly regarded prospect for the Braves. He was in the Matt Olson deal. Still could be a very good player. As a matter of fact, let's take a look. I'm searching Fangraphs on Fangraphs. Christian Pache. All right. So his profile should still come up. Yeah, I mean a 50 value, future value. Now most of that is in fielding. His speed is high. That means he can run. Not going to be, potential 2020 on the offensive side, stalled out in the upper minors. That's true. Yeah, I mean, he's been abysmal. He wasn't very good at AAA. Was meh at AAA for Atlanta. So there's a chance he pops off. but he's fast, and for Oakland, he'll get playing time. And if he starts running with the rule change, Christian Pache should be your guy. So, all right, here's how we're going to give it away. It's another comment-based giveaway. Questions for the COO. Anything that you want to know about Sorare MLB, anything you want to know about Sorare NBA, drop it in the comments. Again, I will be sorting by question marks for this giveaway, so ask a question. Anything you want to know. It doesn't have to be about the offseason. It can be about the future of the platform. It can be about something you want to see. Anything like that. Anything that if you could ask the CEO or the COO of Sorare, if you could ask them any question, let me know. Drop in the comments, and that's how you win the Christian Pache rare card, our first rare card giveaway. Hyped about that. So ask a question, ask away, and we will reveal the winner of that before the next playoff game week. So that'll be Monday? That'll be Monday. Because then we're going to have a long game week, and I don't want to make you wait. So good chance these go down to one video a game week. With the playoffs starting, I'm not going to do one just in the middle of the game week. So things might change. So a little slower, but still watch out for the grind. Keith and I had a really fun conversation this morning, and we'll go from there. And I will see you on Monday or Tuesday, whenever this damn wild card weekend ends. Go Guardians, go Phillies, go Jays. I don't care about the Mets Padres series. Go Francisco Lindor, but go underdogs as well. Except those Rays and the Mariners. Yeah, that's that. All right. Ask questions. Follow us. Like, subscribe, all that. I'll get out of your hair. Have a good one, y'all. Enjoy the postseason.